We are back talking thoroughbred horse racing on Proline TV. I'm your host, Greg DePalma, and thanks for tuning in once again for another Thursday night edition with Jon Hardoon from the Raggers and Streets. How's it going, John?
Good, Greg. How are you?
I've been better, but most of my audience knows because I've been telling them all week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just in case they want to know what the fuck's wrong with me. You know, they know. So anyway, I need to explain things every once in a while with what's wrong with me. Before we get started, we're going to be talking about a couple of races at Saratoga this week. We also have the Bing Crosby will be a bonus race. I'll do that later on. So some good race activity this week. Last week was a real aggravating situation over in Del Mar when they decided not to disqualify the 8, which was Inbox, and Inbox wound up winning the race and knocking number 2, Wild Like the West, which was a long shot, out of the number 2 spot, who would have moved up to the number 2. Actually, that was the horse that actually had to peel back and was in contention for the win. But the bottom line was, John, that it was one of those situations where, once again, it just doesn't matter. It seems like whatever you do, they're just not going to disqualify horses.
Well, that's not necessarily true, because they've been taking horses down at Saratoga for a lot less than that. And they even took horses down at Del Mar for a lot less than that. It was just a bad missed call on their part. They blew it, and that's all you could do. You could talk till you're blue in the face. Problem is, stewards are really taking too much, attention is being paid to the stewards, and that's not their job. It's like a referee in a game. If you don't talk about the bad calls, well, then the referee did a good job. When every day you go on Twitter or X and all you do is see complaints about the stewards, something's wrong, and that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I think it was 35 to 1 shot won the race. And so that's why the exacta would have been a lot bigger of a payout. But anyway, like you said, there's nothing that we can do about it. It's just, I was like watching that replay over and over again, and I'm still trying to figure out, how is this not cutting off another horse?
What do you mean? The horse absolutely checks out of the race. They said it didn't have an effect. How do they know it didn't have an effect? It had an effect. Yeah. The horse couldn't finish.
Ridiculous.
And as far as the Haskell's concerned, no one showed up. Further, the track was off. Not that I'm making excuses. Both the winner and the runner-up, Napoleon Solo, both ran very, very good. The winner ran an 8. Napoleon Solo ran a 7, which was a new top. I never thought he had it in him, but you got to give credit where credit is due, and the horse ran very well in defeat.
Yeah, and the horse that won the race, that horse pretty much came from nowhere.
Well, yeah, but he was coming off a pair of 10s, and he never did anything wrong. And in hindsight, but I wasn't using Napoleon Solo, so I wouldn't have hit it anyway. I did have 2-3 Further Ado with that horse, but Further Ado just never showed up.
Yeah, it looked like one of those situations where if you got into the lead on that day in those races.
Well, the inside, once the track became sloppy and everything, listen, no one in the race ever ran on an off track, so there's only one way to find out if they like it. And unfortunately, the horses we played didn't. Not making any excuses, they just didn't run.
Yeah. So we'll see. Now with all of these, big performances, I think the third top performance from Napoleon Soto that coming off the 7, that's going to be interesting to see where he goes next. And maybe he's ready for a big one. And now that he's got a good number behind him.
I think he's going to run in the Pennsylvania Derby next. That's my opinion. I know they were talking about the Travers, but they would be crazy. It would be too soon back. But who am I to tell them what to do? So good luck to them.
Okay, so that was last week. This week, as I said, we're back to Saratoga to start things off. Races 9 and 10. Race 9 is going to be the Alfred G Vanderbilt Stakes. It's a $400,000 race, 4-year-olds and up, 6 furlongs. Should go off a little after 5 o'clock on Saturday. How's the weather?
It's going to be beautiful.
Great. So we won't have to worry about that. The morning line favorite at race number 9 is the 8 Built, an 8-5 shot with a Red Ortiz Jr. on board. And is that Wayne Castellano?
Wayne Catalano. Yeah.
Catalano. Okay.
Just a little programming note. 2 late scratches just came in the 2-horse crazy Crazy Mason is coming out, and
Mayhem going on in the Jon Hardoon household, everybody.
Crazy Mason's coming out, and the 4 Just Beat the Odds are coming out. Both of those horses are coming out.
Okay, so the 2 Crazy
Mason and the 4 Just Beat the Odds are both coming out, Gord.
Okay, 2 and 4, and yeah, I kind of like the 4.
Well, you can like them all you want. I like them too a little bit, but we can't play them. So.
Okay, we could play them, but it would get us nowhere.
Yeah, you get your money back.
Yeah. Well, no, they'd probably just take it for us being stupid. All right, so let's get going then with that kind of news and start with the 1, which could very well be the horse to beat, as far as I'm concerned. Damon's Mound, a 4-1 shot. You got Mott, you got Alvarado. The horse is coming off of 5. And he's had more than enough time since then. That was late April. He's won 4 of his last 5 races with a 2nd place. So he's really on a nice hot streak. And he is also, 4-1 is actually not that bad considering how good he looks at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's okay. I like a different horse in the race, but I could certainly see making a case for this horse. The Mott barn is starting to heat up. They had another winner today. So why not? You're getting Junior Alvarado. Not only that, the horse does have a win at Saratoga as well. So keep that in mind.
Okay, now comes the 3, Cat on Time, a 15-1 shot. And all these odds are going to change now, unfortunately, for the worse.
Well, the horses that was scratched was an 8-1 and a 5-1. So I don't know if they're going to scratch that much, but whatever.
Okay.
If they're going to change that much. In any case, this horse is off a 6 without any time off. This horse, not only that, the 6 was at Indiana. So he's traveling and everything else. I don't want any part of this horse. I see he's 15-1, but I know he's going backwards off the 6. So I'm not interested.
Yeah, this would have been an interesting, and it still could be an interesting situation here because you have a horse that has run in a lot of claimers and has run on all Lasix races. Yet he's had 8 wins out of 20 lifetime. Like you said, a couple of 6s in his last 2 starts. So it's one of those deals where, it's almost like if you are a sheets, you're religiously on the sheets versus religiously not on the sheets, you might think very differently about this horse.
Okay.
But even like you said, because you would have thought differently on this horse, I would imagine, if he would have run the 6 a couple of months ago.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Yeah. So at least he's 15-1.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next up, let's go with the 5 Nutella Fella. And this is actually the only horse in the field with a grade 1 win, I believe. He did that as a major long shot and the grade 1 hopeful at Saratoga in September of 2023.
Career start number 2 of his life. He ran that 15, which was at Saratoga, and a win. The problem with this horse is he runs a race, takes a year off, runs 2 races, takes another year off. So obviously soundness is a problem. However, it is first time for Joe Sharp, which is a plus. And he's thinking of running this horse in the Alfred G Vanderbilt. So, the guy's not an idiot. And if he's bringing this horse back and running him in this spot, obviously he must think he has a shot. He's 15-1. I don't like him. I'm not playing him. But I'm just pointing out the reasons that people may want to play him.
Yeah, since his last win, his last 4 results even haven't been that great. All in double digits as well. 10, 11, 13 in his last 3. Okay, now we've got the 6, him, 5-1 shot. Now, him ran 2 6s. That happened in May and April, winning both of those races on Lasix. Came off of Lasix in his last start to run an 8 and another win. So he's on a 3-race win streak. What do you think about him?
Well, I hope he makes it 4 races because this is my top selection. He's just generally fast. He never runs a bad race. He was gelded 3 races back prior to that 6. Yeah, he came off of Lasix and he went backwards the last time out. But he's just a fast horse in general, and he's gotten really good at the age of 4. He never runs a bad race. And I think he'll be longer priced than the 1 because the 1 has Mott and Alvarado, and this horse is Ron Moquette, making his first start of the meet. I like this horse. I think we're going to get somewhat of a price here.
Okay. Next up is the 7 T-Craft. You got Mott, you got Pratt at 8-1. 3 of the horses' 4 wins have been on Lasix, so we got to keep that in mind. The lone win off of Lasix happened in March of last year when he ran a 12. He has 1 single digit. That was a 7 a couple of starts ago in a win at Aqueduct.
Yeah, I mean, he's okay. You know, if you think the race is going to go in a 7 or 8, which it can.
Nothing, right?
Huh? I didn't hear what you said.
No, I think there's a problem with the I'm not even, you're frozen. So maybe
frozen?
I got screwed up for a second. Yeah, you're frozen in time. That's okay. We can hear you.
Okay, well, so I was saying,
now you're back.
If you think the race is going to 6 or 7, I should say a 7 or 8, well, then he has a chance. He has Pratt rides for the first time, and he'll be somewhat of a price. You know, I would use him underneath. I don't think he's as good as the 6.
Yeah, nice little upgrade there. The odds are nice, so not a bad alternative. And again, just looking at his numbers, his best 3 races, including the turf race, have been in the last 3 races.
Correct.
Those are all his best numbers, 7, 10, and 11. So maybe not a bad option to throw in there. Next up is the 8 Built. This is the morning line favorite. The last 3 wins have all been on Lasix. I don't know if I don't have anything more than this. So I guess I don't know out of his other 2 wins whether or not he's won any races off of it. Anyway, he's got 2 4s in his last 4 starts.
Yeah, but both of those 4s, like you said, were both on Lasix.
Yes.
The problem is the no Lasix races, he may have run those numbers anyway because he ran a 4 and then he bounced to a 10. Then he ran a 4 again on Lasix, comes off of Lasix, bounced to a 7.
Yep.
But I'm not so sure if those races were on Lasix that they wouldn't have been a 7 and a 10 anyway, because he did figure to bounce. But your question about on Lasix, he has 4 lifetime wins, right? 5 lifetime wins, I'm sorry. Well, he won his career. He won as a 2-year-old without Lasix. And then he went on Lasix when he ran that 8 at the end in his 3-year-old campaign. So he won that race on Lasix. All the other wins were on Lasix.
Okay.
As a 2-year-old, he ran a 10 without Lasix at Fairgrounds and a 19. So I would say he definitely looks like he likes Lasix as he got older. At 8-5, I'm willing to bet that he's a Lasix horse. You know, but if I'm keying a horse like the 6, so I think I'll get every bit of 5-1, well, I could use him underneath an exactas. 6 over 178 is my play.
6 over 1, 7, and 8. I will go with the 1, Damon's Mound, and I'll do this. I'll go ahead with the 6 and the 7.
Okay.
So that is
So
1.
you got 1 with 6 and 7. Very
1
good.
over 6 and 7. That is race number 9. The Alfred G Vanderbilt. I mean, what was that one? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the yeah.
Okay, come on. I don't want you to go backwards. All right, Coaching Club American Oaks, Grade 1 race. This is a 1.125 miles. This is a purse of $500,000. Fillies, 3-year-old. This will go off about 5:45 at Saratoga. And the morning line favorite. Actually, this is going to be a very interesting battle. The top 2 horses in the race, the 1 and the 6, are starting to develop a little rivalry here. It's also nice that the Ortiz brothers are riding these horses, because in their last 2 starts, they have faced each other with each winning once. So those are the 2 horses to keep an eye on, the 1 and the 6 in this race. And there are, how many horses do we have? 9 horses in the field.
We have a late scratch. The 3 La Raquesa is coming out. He will be scratched.
More scratching. Okay, at least we get them now.
At least we get them in advance. So
yeah,
that's the good news.
That's right. Okay, now let's go through, starting with Counting Stars. And this is one of 2 horses in the field by Mark Cassie. Red Ortiz Jr. on board. Coming off a win at Saratoga, ran a 9 and a Grade 1 win. And he also ran a 9 a couple of starts ago at a Grade 2 win. He's got 5 out of 9 wins, which is nice. Again, the only bad part is that he is a very short price at 2-1.
He's 1-for-1 at Saratoga, but all that being said, I love a horse in this race, and this is not it.
Next up is the 2 Dan Donna, a 20-1 shot. Safi Joseph, Gaffleone's got a grade 3 win. Since the grade 3 win, he's finished 8th and 6th. Those are all turf races, though. This is the first time that they're going to try him on dirt.
Yeah, well, they're kind of running out of options, I guess. And believe it or not, Safi Joseph, not having a Safi Joseph type meet, I believe he's 1 for 25 at the meet. So that's not good. Listen, the horse is bred for turf. He's been running on the grass. They're trying something new. I'm not experimenting with my money. Let them use that.
Yeah. His last 3 starts on grass, 13, 11, and 14. Next up is the 4. I was going to say the 4, but this horse doesn't belong.
No, this horse does not. I have no idea why he's in the race.
Okay, the 5 is Measure, a Mark Casse trained horse. He's got 1 win out of 5. He ran a 13 in his win when he broke his maiden. And then he went, that was a 5-point new top in his 3rd race. But that really didn't matter because he took some time off, came back in May with a 16. And then after that, he came back to Saratoga last month and ran a 9, nearly winning the race, finishing in 2nd place. So what do you think about Measure?
Well, the 9 he ran last time at Saratoga was on Lasix. He's coming off of Lasix. So, but listen, he ran the 13 as a 2-year-old. She could certainly repeat the 9. She had trouble in our last race as well. You know, she's 15-1. I'm not going to knock anyone for playing this horse at 15-1.
Okay, here's the other horse we talked about at the start of the race. Always a runner, the 6 horse. Chad Brown, one of 2 back-to-back horses he's trained in this race. Jose Ortiz on board, 3 out of 4 wins. He's coming off a 2nd place to the 1. He ran a 10 in that race. His line was 20, 12, and 8. So not a big surprise that he had bounced after a 4-point new top and had a game 2nd. He's got wins in a grade 3, wins in a grade 1. Again, the only bad part is he is 9-5.
Yeah, I mean, listen, she could run an 8 for sure. You know, if you think an 8's going to win it, well, she's okay. She's 9-5. The problem with her is the price. The question is, who do you like better between the 1 and 6? If you had to pick between the 1 and 6, who would you pick?
The 6.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, well, you didn't ask who I would pick, but I
thought I was expected you to say it.
No, I would pick the longer the price because to me they're basically the same horse.
Okay. Next up is the 7 Directive, and this is I believe going to be your top pick.
I love this horse. I absolutely love this horse. I don't believe I'll get 6-1, but if I do, I'm running to the
Yeah, that's the thing. When I saw that it was Pratt and Brown and the line is 13.98, even though all 3 races are on Lasix, I was like, I don't think these horses could be 6-1.
Well, they're going to bet the 1 and 6. You know that. I mean, like you said, they've beaten each other the last few times, and they're coming out of grade 1 stakes races. So those are serious horses. The 7 only has 3 lifetime starts. He's being thrown into the deep end of the pool here. You know, he's never run against these kind of horses. However, extremely well bred. He's had a gun runner. He's only going to get better the longer they go and the more he runs. And it's Pratt and it's Brown. I'll take my chances. I'll take 7-2 or 3-1 on this horse, and I'm sure I'll get that price.
Wow, you would even take this horse at 3-1.
Yep.
Okay, I like it. All right, next up is the 8 Zany. Todd Pletcher off to a slow start in this meet.
Yeah, he won a race today. Actually, he beat me. He was like 3 for 54 going into today, but he knew how to find a way to beat me.
Yep. Surprising maybe that this horse is 9-2 because he's run 4 13s and 1 11. He starts off winning 3 straight races, and then in his last 2 races, both grade 1 races, he still runs 13s.
Well, if you remember, early in her career, she was the second coming of who knows what. I mean, she won her first 3 races, and easily she went off 80 cents to $1, 20 cents to $1. Then she got beat at 50 cents to it. She's been a favorite in 4 of her 5 lifetime starts. I don't think she's getting better. The sheets tell you she's not getting better. She had an 11 as a 2-year-old. She can't break a 13 this year. I don't want any part of this horse.
Yeah, very surprising, but yeah, it's not. And she just raced in her last start against the 2 horses in this race we talked about, the 1 and the 6.
And she was the favorite against both of them. She was the favorite, and she ran 5th to them. So.
Yeah. The 9 shouldn't even be in the race.
Correct. The 9 belongs with the 4. They could have a match race somewhere, the 2 of them, but they don't have any chance. So I'm using 7 over 1, 5, and 6. Easy, over and out.
7 over 1, 5, 6. I will go 6 over 1, 5, and 7. And that is going to wrap it up for you, John. Appreciate it as always.
Thank you, my friend. Feel better, stay safe, and be well, everybody. I'm sure we'll see you next week. They got stake races coming up galore.
Absolutely. We'll see you next week, John.
Thanks, Greg. Be well.
All right. Yes, next week is the Clement L. Hirsch from Del Mar. That's the big one. You also have 3 graded stakes races at Saratoga. The Jim Dandy is the highlight, along with Saratoga Special and Lake George. So we'll be here next week to talk about those big races coming up at Del Mar and Saratoga once again. And then it gets even better in 2 weeks with Del Mar and Saratoga. You have 2 graded stakes races at Del Mar, and then you have 4 grade 1s at Saratoga, including the Whitney. So that is coming up in a couple of weeks right here. Am I in clearly? Not that it matters. Who cares? Okay, so to recap the picks, race number 9 for John, he's going with the 6, him, over the 1, 7, and 8. Him, a 5-1 shot with 2 6s in his last 3 races, won 3 straight coming in. That's John's top play in race number 9, the Alfred G Vanderbilt. I'm taking the 1, Damon's Mound, over the 6 and the 7. And then in race number 10, the American Oaks, John's going with the 7, Directive, over the 1, 5, and 6. The 1, 5, and 6. And I'm taking the 6 over the 1, 5, and 7. Actually, be a nice double, wouldn't it, for John? If John can go 6, 7 double and get 5 or 6 to 1 there on both of those horses, that would be a nice payout. Okay, so now, just so you know how we come up with the bonus races, John and I go over and discuss, here are all the greatest stakes races for the week. Let's take a look at the fields. That's a major thing first. We got to take a look at the fields. Make sure they're not 5, 6 horse fields. If they are, those get knocked out unless there's nothing else. So sometimes when that happens, we just take the week off, to tell you the truth, unless it's a major week. So once we get to that point, then whatever remaining, okay, let's take a look at how competitive this could be. If there's some really big horses in the race, that sort of thing. And then John gives me his selections of the races he would like to do, and I confirm them. And then I decide to add in a bonus race. So that's what we did today. Just in case you want to know why the Bing Crosby is the bonus race in this one, considering even though it's a grade 1, just like the American Oaks, the difference is that the Bing Crosby does seem to have a better field. So I can understand why some people might think that this would be the race of the weekend, and we usually do the races of the weekend, but it's also in California, and it's a late race, and John's, at Saratoga, and he loves to take advantage as best he can of all the races in Saratoga while he's there. So I'm just waiting now to get the Bing Crosby entries. Okay, I think we got it. Here we go. Let's put her on the screen. All right, here we go. Nope, not the right one. Come on. Okay, here we go. Bing Crosby. Looks like it's going to go off about 9:40 Eastern. And Boy, this is a good race. The morning line favorite is the 6, Cornucopian, who we like. Probably we're going to play Cornucopian. And we start off with the 1, Maximum Bourbon, who we're also going to play. So this is 7-2 shot. D'Amato's got 1 of 2 in the race. 4-6 wins is nice. What's really nice, take out the synthetic race. You have 9-9, 8-4, and then 5. Now, what's kind of interesting is we've had, what is this, the 3rd trainer, I believe, that this horse has won 3 times, or I should say 3 of the 4 races with 3 separate trainers. And the last 2 races, 4 and 5. So I don't think we really are going to nitpick going from 4 to 5, right? We don't need a 3. That's not necessary. Anyway, good horse, nice numbers, no reason to say, come on board. Let's see what we can get with you guys here. All right, next up is the 2. Listen Up Chance. Unfortunately, Listen Up Chance, who has 3 wins out of 12, has never won off of Lasix. And her numbers are a little behind Maximum Bourbon. In the last 5 races on dirt, this horse has run 7-7, 8-9. So actually it's been 9-8, 7-7, which is what you want to see. So he is headed in the right direction. I was thinking immediate contender, 8-1s, nice. 2 for 2 at Del Mar, nice. The 3 wins on Lasix, that's kind of the thing where I'm a little bit nitpicky on, but still not a bad idea to throw him in as an exacta. Or, hey, if you want to go for it and you think he's ready to take even another step, again, like I said, headed in the right direction, 2 for 2 at Del Mar, why not? Good price. Either way, I think you should try to think about using them because I'm going to. Dr. Venkman. Now, Dr. Venkman, early in his career, was a real nice story out in Cali, and won 3 out of his first 5 races. Everything was going great, and then all of a sudden, things changed. Right about, I'd say, 8 starts ago. Right about that. Now, his numbers have still been solid, but he's only won once in his last 8 races. And that's a problem, especially because his last race was he ran a 13 and finished 6th. He had taken time off between November and June. And what he spat out was the 13, which happened to be the worst race, period. Number, result, just the worst race of his career combo. And so now you're getting the horse with 1 win in his last 8, coming off his worst race of the year. So that's a lot of, 4-1. I just think there's other horses here I'd rather take advantage of. The 4 is For All Mankind, a 7-year-old. John Sadler's off to a nice start, limited starts so far at Del Mar. But the horse has only had 3 wins out of 23 and has never won at this distance, 0 for 6. He is coming off back-to-back 9s. He ran back-to-back 8s in early 2025. And as you can see here on the form, he has not won a race in a while. It's been a while. The 5, Stronghold. This is going to be my top choice. But I do understand that there are some things to nitpick on. But coming off of 4, matter of fact, if you look at it the last time he ran a 4, which was in December of 2024, his very next race, which was just a month, he ran a 15, which is, I think, one of his worst races ever. Might have been his worst race ever. Just really bad. So he comes back from the 15 and runs an 8-8 and a 4. Only 3 other races since January of 2025 since then. The good news is that the 4 this time around it come in late May. So now you've got June, July, you've got almost 2 months off almost a whole 3 to 4 weeks off extra from the last time he ran a 4. So he's got 12 out of 14 in the money. Might even be, I mean, because I'm putting Stronghold and the 2 Listen Up Chance in the same play, that I'd be happier if Listen Up Chance won his 3rd at Del Mar in 3, because Stronghold has finished 2nd in his 2 Del Mar races. So maybe he can go 3 for 3 at Del Mar, finishing in 2nd. I get a better payday that way. But we can't all pick it like that, though, right? Only if we could. This horse won the Santa Anita Derby back in 2024. It went to the Kentucky Derby as a long shot. Had some runner-up finishes. Had actually 4 runner-up finishes in 5 races. This was between the end of 2024, early 2025. But has really picked it up in his last 3 races. Even though he had a little bit of a break between August of 2025 when he ran an 8 and April of just a few months ago when he ran an 8. A couple of wins this year. And I'm going to jump on board with Stronghold as the top choice. Next up is the morning line favorite, Cornucopian. And Cornucopian has got Bob Baffert training him. Juan Hernandez on board having a good meet. 2 for 2 at this distance. And just looking at his numbers this year, he's won 3 out of 4. And he's run a 6, a 4, an 8, and a 6. So it's very impressive. I mean, the only knock would be that his biggest wins have been at grade 3 level. But the numbers are solid. The biggest problem really is the odds. So I would definitely look at that. Look, I have him. I think I only have 3. What, I have 3 or 4 horses? I might have 4, I think. Because I can see that the numbers don't lie. They've been in solid races. It's not like he's had, we've just gone over a couple of races in Saratoga where you see some horses that are having these really good numbers and claimers and things of that nature. Well, at least this horse has got these numbers in some really big races. So even though it's not grade 2s or grade 1s, they're still better than some of the other ones that we talked about. And didn't tend to have too much of a problem there, depending on which horse it was. Next up. Actually, if you look at the last 3 horses, Gold Sweet, Madhouse, Moonlight, all long shots. Gold Sweet, it puts up pretty decent numbers. In his last 10 races, if you throw out the 22, which was predictable because he was on a sloppy track, so just throw that out. So in his last 9 races, he's run between a 7 and an 11. So that's solid. And you're getting 15 to 1. His last win was not on Lasix because he does have some Lasix wins. So it's not the worst idea in the world if you want to throw him in there and, hey, hope you get lucky in a trifecta situation maybe. Madhouse also has some 7s. 3 7s in his last 5 races. I mean, he just didn't show up at all in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. So I draw a line through that. And if you do that, it's 7-7-7 coming into his last race. Unfortunately, he had his last race. And that's kind of the problem. Because I already gave him I gave him the benefit of the doubt in the Breeders' Cup. But now he's coming off of a bad race in his last start, running a 14 in that grade 3 race at Churchill. He does have 5 wins, though, at this distance. But at Del Mar, matter of fact, of course, it's hard to judge him with his lone Del Mar start, considering that was the Breeders' Cup race. But I definitely would rather take the 7 over the 8. That's just me, obviously. And the 9 is going to a new trainer, Peter Miller. So we'll see what happens there. This horse ran a 6 in November. He also ran 7s, 8s, 9s last year, so that was nice. Matter of fact, he had 4 wins last year. 3 of them were on Lasix. He ran a 6 at Churchill off of Lasix. So he was heading into this year looking pretty good. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. 11, 17, 8, 10. No wins. Does he have something left in him? Some of that mojo from 2025? Well, that's why they call it gambling, right? So, look, they're not the worst options in the world. We went over some of those where we just said no freaking way. So, like I said, if I was going to take one of these, I would go with the 7. Okay. So, what are we going to go with? Final. Oh, yeah, we're going with Stronghold. So, we're going with Stronghold. And we like the 1 as well. See, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do I don't want to put in all 3 top contenders here. So, Maximum Bourbon and Cornucopian. Man, they're both in good shape. It's going to be tough to decide which one to take out because I don't want to play them all. Let's see. Again, Maximum Bourbon is coming off a 5 and a 4. While Cornucopian is coming off a 6, 8, 4, and a 6. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pass on the 1 then. I got to take some of I have to take one of them out. So I'll take the 1 out. I'll keep Cornucopian in. And you know what? Because of that, I'll add in the other long shot. So let's go 5 over 3. No, not Bankman. Why did I put 3 in there? 5 over 6. And then we're going to put in 7. Oh, the 2. That's what it was. So it's going to be 5 over 2, 6, and 7. So we'll put in the, Listen Up Chance is not really considered a long shot, but 8-1's a nice price. And you got the big price on the 7. So I'll put a couple of priced horses in there along with Cornucopian. And again, I'm leaving out Dr. Vankman and Maximum Bourbon. Those are the other 2 horses that are considered the top contenders. And that's the way it'll go. And I certainly hope the next time that there is a situation, because there will be, it's going to happen. It may happen on Saturday. It could happen 6 months from now. But when it happens, the next time there is an inquiry and I look at the film and it looks like the horse should be disqualified, it better go in my favor. That's all I know. Meaning, either way, I don't care if my horse is the guilty one or not, because it's getting one of the situations where, let's say it'd be a big payday versus a small one, and I can see that my horse deserves a disqualification. You're not disqualifying horses every time I see it, and it would benefit me. So, but you, of course, know we've been playing this game long enough over the years. What'll happen? It'll definitely go against me. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for our coverage this week. Next week, as I said, we have the next 2 weeks, we have some big racing. Clement L. Hirsch is the marquee race of the weekend at Del Mar and the Jim Dandy at Saratoga. And in a couple of weeks, 4 grade 1s at Saratoga, including the Whitney. So we'll be here for all of it. That's it. We have one more show this week on Proline, and that will be on Saturday. I'll come on to do the post-qualifying and practice report for the NASCAR race at Indianapolis, the Brickyard. So we'll do that on Saturday night, and then we'll return on Proline on Tuesday for the Jim Feist handicapping show. And then the same day, I'll come back with CJ Radoon to have the NASCAR week start over again with our NASCAR coverage. We're going to be updating you in a few weeks on our football programming. Okay, so we're going to have some football programming as usual here. We're behind the scenes talking about strategizing and exactly how we're going to do it. It's going to be different this year than in years past. So we're putting all the ideas together, and we're going to let you know exactly what we come up with. But it'll be sometime in the next couple of weeks. So we're looking forward to it. We're excited about it, and hopefully you will be too. I will be over at the Our Football Network for one more day tomorrow. I've got coverage on Friday for 4 o'clock. The Pro Line Our Lads thing I was doing, the series of NFL division previews, that's over. 8 straight weeks we did. You can check out all 8 shows right here on Pro Line. We have it in a library. And tomorrow instead, just picking it up with some more interviews. Matter of fact, I'm going to be interviewing someone on TCU football from the Big 12. That'll be tomorrow at 4 o'clock on the Our Lads Football Network. And then we'll do it all again next week. Check it out over there. I've got a link in the description of this video for that. Also a link in the description of the video for Mark's Playbook magazine. This is the big one. Let me see if I can get rid of this. There you go. Oh, I am fuzzy. That's a pain in the ass. Anyway. So, oh, that's fuzzy too. Shake, shake, shake. There you go. Okay. So this is awesome. If you're into NFL and college football handicapping, you like to bet on games, you have to have this. It's a must. In the NFL, you get 2 pages for every team. In college football, all 138, you get 1 page. And there's other really cool extras, historical stats and trends and all this other stuff to get you ready for the upcoming season on a week-to-week basis. So I have the playbook guide. I also have Phil Steele's college football guide, and I have them here every year along with all my Our Lads content, and we're ready to go. That's how I get myself ready for another season of football. Not sure how you do it, but if you do it anyway, like I do with the Playbook magazine guide, you'll definitely be better off for it. So hope you've subscribed to the show, shared it, comment, let me know what's on your mind. You got picks, things like that. If you have a question, let us know. All that stuff's really great. Helps support the channel. Have a great weekend. Best of luck with the picks. Thanks to Jon Hardoon